Everybody, Leo DeSell, I'm glad you're tuning in. This is Phil Schmitt with Schmitt Insurance, and today we're going to go over the ins and outs of homeowners insurance and flood insurance. So Phil, what separates you from the big companies, the other brokers out there like yourself? What makes you different? And that's what...
Okay, well, for one thing, I'm an independent insurance agent, which means I'm not tied to one carrier, one insurance carrier. A lot of the major carriers that take up a lot of the market share, those agents can only sell that one product. Whereas I can offer products from several different carriers. So for instance, if the major carrier policy doesn't fit you, if it doesn't work out to where it's a good price or good value for you, that's the only product that they can offer you. So they're going to try to fit you in, try to force you into that one product. Whereas if I have a company that doesn't fit you, well then I'm going to keep shopping until I find something that does offer you a good price and good value for what you're buying.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you do the work for the consumer. They don't have to go and shop 10 different companies. That's
right.
What you do. And you
basically,
find the best
if you relate it to buying a car, hey, go get me the best deal possible on a good, solid car. That's what I do for homeowners insurance. I present you with a few different options that you can choose from. We talk about them, and then we select a carrier.
Similar to a buyer's agent.
That's right. That's right. That's very similar. Yeah.
So with years of experience in this industry, I've dealt with numerous agents in the insurance industry, and I'll tell you, I've had those phone calls before where I was naive. I didn't know what all entails on the insurance side, and we found that house that the buyer loves, and they bought it, and then they got a phone call from the insurance company a couple of weeks later, and they want to drop them because the roof is too old, or there's major cracks in the driveway, or they don't have railings on the front porch. And I'll tell you, they're not mad at the insurance company, they're mad at me.
Right.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So
they're also mad at an agent too.
They're mad at their agent too, but they
right.
may have called some big company who they'll never hear from that person again. And so the difference that I find with you is that I've never had that happen. That's a big difference I find. So tell me, what do you do? Right.
Well, that's one thing that we've learned also. I was a captive agent at one time where I only had that one product, and they were pretty lenient. But when I became an independent agent, I found that virtually all the insurance carriers these days are inspecting the houses. So what happens is the buyer goes in, they find the house, they get a loan, they get an insurance policy, then they buy the house. Well, a few weeks later, an insurance inspector comes in from the insurance company, and they do their evaluation on the house.
Does this happen every home? Every time?
Virtually every home,
okay.
Correct. So they look for the age of the roof, the condition of the roof. They look for if trees are overhanging the house. They're looking for hazards that they don't like. And it's in the contract that they have the right to say, we don't want the policy. So on the front end, that's no good for anybody.
Right.
That doesn't make you look good, doesn't make me look good, doesn't make anybody look good. Even the mortgage company doesn't look good in that process. So what I do is I do a lot of the frontline underwriting myself. If I see on the appraisal that the roof might be a little old, or if I see some trees in the pictures, I'll look at the driveway, I'll look at a few different things that are common concerns with the insurance inspector. If it's close enough, I'll drive out there and look at the house myself.
Yeah, you're a local agent.
So we try to avoid that at all costs. And there's been some buyers who basically took our advice and didn't buy a house or renegotiated the price to where they could get these things fixed on the front end based on them kind of proving to the seller that they're not going to be able to get insurance on the house. For instance, the seller may have bought a house with a 10-year-old roof, owned it for 10 years, never replaced the roof, and now all of a sudden he's trying to sell a house with a 20-year-old roof.
I'll tell you,
not many insurance companies want a house that has a 20-year-old roof on it because they know a claim is coming or a replacement is coming, and they just don't want the bother.
I'll tell you, that's something with an experienced realtor. It's very important when you are showing homes to a buyer and they love this house, but you see on that property disclosure, you notice that roof is 20 plus years old, and it's a 3-tab roof where it's more of a flat. They're not overlaying like the architectural roofs are, which last longer. So if I see an all 3-tab roof on there, I know right away that there's going to be an issue getting insurance. And so a lot of times I'll take a couple pictures, send them to Phil, he'll look at it and say, man, there's no way that roof is insurable.
Right.
And so at that point, we try to negotiate in our contracts with our buyers to get them a new roof. So if they buy the home, Is there a time frame that a roof can be put on after the purchase?
Typically, the insurance company sends the inspector out and they provide the report to the insurance carrier. Mm-hmm. And they do their evaluation. And a lot of times the concerns are minor. They say, well, they want these trees trimmed back a little bit from the roof. Mm-hmm. Just because the trees brush up against them could damage the shingle. So right. A simple prune job on the trees would suffice. Okay. Most of the time, the concerns are minor. And so that's a good thing because we can fix the concerns. They usually give you a 30-day, sometimes 45-day window to fix whatever the problem is. Okay. It's in very rare circumstances do they say, I don't care if you fix it or not, we still don't want it. Man, I've never had that happen to me because like I said, we do frontline underwriting. We really look at the appraisal. If the appraisal doesn't show good pictures, we try to look at the inspection and really get a good idea, or even we'll drive out to the house ourselves and look at it to make sure that we're protecting the customer as well as ourselves. Because again, right. It's no good for anybody if the insurance policy doesn't stick.
Got it. So, Phil, I want to talk about the whole bundling thing that you keep hearing advertised everywhere. You know, I remember when I was younger, I had my auto, my home, you know, everything all bundled with one. But when I came to you, you did something different. What did you do?
Right. Well, a lot of insurance carriers, more your mainstream carriers, offer or they advertise we can bundle your auto insurance and homeowners insurance together to save you money. Right. Well, that's a lot like, you know, the phone companies and the internet companies trying to bundle everything together. Sometimes it's a good deal. Sometimes bundling is just a marketing ploy to try to get all your business. Mm-hmm. So what I did with you was I looked at your declaration pages, did a review, reviewed your coverages, and then I shopped your auto insurance, I shopped your homeowners insurance, and it turned out for you that being with the same carrier didn't make sense because you get better value splitting them up. Right. So sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes the carrier's a good fit on the homeowners insurance and the auto insurance for the person, to where it does make sense to bundle, but sometimes it doesn't. In your case, you got a lot better value, you saved over $1,000.
And more coverage.
And got more coverage because we even included an umbrella policy for you, and we went with 2 different carriers to cover 3 different policies.
Yeah, so it made sense. I mean, it ended up saving you about $1,000.
Right. So, you know, the benefit for you is you can call me. Right. You still have one person to call, and I handle the different carriers and the different policies. Yeah. And a lot of the carriers that I use, they'll have agency bundle discounts. So we can individually shop the policies and still kind of get a bundle discount because you have your business with the same agency. So that's one of the things that separates me from the mainstream carriers.
So cheaper price and more coverage. You can't beat that.
You gotta like it, huh?
I appreciate that.
Right.
Too. Thanks.